I am here. I'm probably going to get copyrighted right off the bat now by doing that. It don't matter. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to get, grand opening, grand closing. Yo, that Batman soundtrack right there hits. Yo, tell me that shit don't hit. Oh my God, that hits so hard. That thing is amazing. Is it me or out of all the comic movies and shows, it's always Batman that has the best soundtrack, like the best hero music, right? You got the 1989 Batman, right? Right? Amazing. And then you got the animated series, which kind of like a variation of that. Right? And then you have the Dark Knight, right? And now you got this one. It's like Batman soundtracks just hit. I think if there's one thing that can't be argued as when it comes to comics, Batman soundtracks just hit. They have like the best hero. They just, for whatever reason, music composers create some of the best like Batman themed music. It's just crazy. This hits. Probably gonna get copyrighted instantly. Yeah, it's all right. I don't do that often. Whatever. But it was just hits, right? So how's everybody doing, man? What's going on? My friends, my family, my fellow gamers, your boy Porter77. You're ready for these YouTube streets. How is everyone's Saturday? How is everyone's weekend doing? We got people from Sweden. We got people from Portugal. I love my European family. Again, to this day, I still say it. I miss Europe. I absolutely miss Europe. My 2.5 years there were absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely. Living in Germany, as many of you know. For those of you who don't know, I lived in Germany for a while. From, 2018 to the middle of 2020. And wow. It was great, man. Great time. Great. Love all the countries I visited, right? But podcasting was hard. You saw you guys who been rocking with me, right? Couldn't get the 60 frames. No lag. Oh, right. We got people from Puerto Rico. That's what's up. Got my peoples, up in here. Of course, I got people from the UK. Love y'all guys. Thank you for rocking out. But I thought, you know what? It's a chill day. It's a chill weekend for me, right? My wife went to visit her sisters, right? So I'm pretty much going to be chilling over the weekend and over the next week or so with nothing to do other than obviously work, right? And I'm going to be chilling, right? So I'm thinking, you know what? The last time I interacted with everyone, with the community, with all you guys, was during the last podcast. Thank you for those of you who showed up. Appreciate it. Thank you for rocking out. For those of you who caught it live, I hope you enjoyed it. But now you're like, let me do something different, right? I was thinking I could upload a video, but I want the interaction, right? I want the interaction, because this is really what I really enjoy. I enjoy this more than like the hot takes. And I know many people like the hot takes because it's quick, but I enjoy so much interacting with the chat. Is this the interaction that's just amazing? Because I got everybody global. Why didn't you go with her? Because I had to work. I couldn't take the vacation time, whatever. And if she was primarily doing stuff for her sister, so it was more something where she had to go, rather than it's a vacation. So it wasn't. So she's not over there really for a vacation. She's just doing family stuff out there. So I couldn't really take the time to do it. And I know why we need alone time. And you're right, I need some PlayStation 5 time. You know what I'm saying? Me and Alloy got to go on a date. I got to spend more time. Alloy's missing me. So I'm going to be here the whole night. I'm going to be like a kid and just binge all Saturday, And then, I got my workout in the morning. I got my core workout in the morning. I will go back to the gym later to do my back and bicep workout. But after that, for the most part, Either I'm cooking, eating food, gaming. Cooking, eating food, gaming. Taking a crap, whatever. You know, not interested in watching TV today or anything, stuff like that. You know, I'm just gonna enjoy a full day of gaming. And because my wife's not here, you know, because usually the Saturdays I leave it open for her, right? I was always like that. You know, even when we were just dating, I guarantee that the Saturdays were for my wife or when she was my girlfriend. Other than there was something that I had to do, you know, like something like, you know, work related, or maybe like a special hangout event, like, you know, got invited to a baseball game, you know, things like that. Then, you know, whatever. But for the most part, I made sure that my Saturdays on the calendar was for her. Now, if she didn't have anything, then hey, there's a free Saturday for me, right? But for the most part, I always made sure that Saturdays was for us. But now that she's not here, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be chilling. My in-laws are here at the house for the week. Oh, man, I feel you. When you got family, even when it's your own family, they take up so much of your time, but it's good, right? But it gets to a certain point, like, when you going to go back? Like, you got to go. You know? Because if you stay here any longer, you're now becoming my dependent. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? You just want to chill, you know, do that stuff, right? You know, so let's see who's up in here. Who's up in here enjoying? Of course, we got Vedger. We got, you know, 47. All right. You know what? Your name is just 47. Your name is interesting only because my wife and I, we recently played this game called Hunter Killer. Have you all ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of a board game called Hunter Killer? In fact, hold on. Let me show you. I'll be right back. Let me show you. All right, so I'm back. So, when my wife visited our good friend, she lives in Alabama, so my wife visited her for like a weekend or whatever. But when she came back, my wife brought this board game. It's called Hunter Killer, right? So my wife bought it. She goes, hey, you know, they play this. So now what we're going to do is, we already played it. Now I'm responsible to mail it off to the next person. So that's what we're doing. We're taking this game and we're sharing it among friends. So now I got to mail it to the next person so they could play it, right? But yo, this game is really, this board game is really good, right? It's really great. I would say it's better with friends. But what it is a detective game, right? And this thing has like all the stuff, right? Now, this is not a paid promotion. Because I guess, you know, these got to make legal claims. So, no, I'm not. Who makes this? Is Nomish Hat Incorporated. But, no, I'm not paid. You know, this is not a paid advertisement, right? Right? But it's crazy because they give you little clues, right? You get a little clue, an investigation, news articles. Like, yo, it's crazy. They give you all this evidence, dossiers on the photographs. You know, they give you their stories. They give you all this stuff, right? Like right here, you see it in here. I think you could, yeah, guys could see it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if you guys, you know, like you see. But it's really expensive because I went online to Amazon to see how many other games they have, and they're like $150. I know there's a subscription service. Like if you go to the actual store, the actual company, it's a subscription service. Oh my God. Right? And if you subscribe to it, they send you these clues like every month or whatever. And you have a month to figure it out. But they don't send you the whole game. That's why I didn't like it. That's why I didn't subscribe to it. Because they don't send you the whole game. They send you a piece of it. And then over time, like after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you're able to solve the crime. But I didn't like that. So I said, let me go find the game to buy it out directly so I could get all the pieces in one shot. And I went on Amazon. They're like $150, $200. So it's a pretty expensive board game. But it was fun, right? This was really fun. You get the clues. You get everything. Forensics are like all this stuff, right? Then you have like a little puzzle you have to solve and clues they have to match. Like there was in this one in particular. I'll show you. I don't know how this podcast ended up this way. All because of a dude named 47. And I'm going to explain why 47. I'm going to explain why. But ultimately, like, also there's like a little lockbox, right? But the game, you have to figure out how to break this code, right? Now, in real life, I would have just gotten fucking thing and broke the shit, right? Yeah, I would have done that, right? I would have just broke the goddamn thing. But, you know, for the nature of the game, you have to figure out what the combo is, right? And, you know, you look at the pieces and you piece it together. So it was really well thought out. Wasn't as hard as I thought it was. So if you're very good at critical thinking and logical thinking, you'll have fun and you'll eventually figure it out. Ultimately, the answer, they put the answer in the envelope. So the answer's here, solution, right? So ultimately, you'll be able to figure it out. And stuff like that. But it's crazy. Like, you see bloodstain, it's crazy, right? The reason why, I'm going to tell you why 47, here's the grand thing, right? This is the reason why 47, right? 47, you still in the chat? Or did you leave? He's still in there, right? It is fun. Me and my wife, we have fun. We made dinner. After we ate dinner, we got, Latinos, we have our coffee and cake. While we're having coffee and cake, we started sending the pizzas out, writing scratch paper. I mean, we were CSI. Straight up. We were like Law and Order. It was fun. We put stuff on the board. We lined out map. We were like looking at the evidence, checking people's timelines. And we were figuring out, wait a minute, this timeline don't make sense. It was cool. It felt like we were in an episode of Law and Order. But 47. So this napkin is like one of the clues, right? It's like one of the clues. But I don't want to show the whole thing. I'm just going to show this part. This is one of the clues. Now look. That's why your name. And one of the clues, you see this. So obviously this, you have to rearrange the words. But clearly it's not that hard. Like I said, the game is not that hard. So what do you think the total word is? You see what I'm saying? Now, I am not showing you the rest of the message just in case you guys want to play the game or whatever. But you see? And so now the mystery has been solved. Right? Now you see why your name instantly made me think of this game. Because, that I just remembered, and the whole puzzle is like the way Seven's rearranged, the whole napkin is like that. So just when I saw your name, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, that's just instant. So now you see why. We're talking about this game now. It is fun. It's fun with friends. I just did with me and my wife. I would imagine though, it's probably more fun. I will say this. Me and my wife, we connect on a lot of things, right? We link on a lot of things, right? So it's pretty easy with her because me and her, we have the same track mind. But I would imagine if you played this game with a lot more people, right? It will probably be interesting because chances are you probably have people that might not be helpful. Imagine playing this game with Xbots. Will probably be more challenging than what it should be. Like me and my wife, we were connecting real quick, right? We were connecting the dots. I would make a statement. My wife would be like, oh, wait a minute. I read something on that. And look, see? And I was like, oh, cool. And we were writing answers. So it was just clicking, right? So we were like Sherlock Holmes and Watson. It was easy. So depending who you play with, it might not be that enjoyable. It might be frustrating. You might have some people, imagine playing with the people that you normally talk to on Twitter. Woo! You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Would be difficult. Anyway, so I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I recommend you guys buy it because it is expensive. It's, like I said, it's $150, $200. But I would say me and my wife enjoyed it. And we're looking forward to the next one. I didn't even notice it has a difficult rating, so it's medium. I guess it's a 5-star difficulty rating, as you can see right there. So this is 2, so that's not bad. It said 45 to 60 minutes of playtime, which is about right. You can play this by yourself if you're interested in solving cases. But I think what really made the game fun was interacting with my wife and just doing stuff. You know, when you do so whatever. Probably great for parties if you're willing, you know. Probably great. It was fun. It was more fun than what I thought. So now I got to box it up, but I'm not doing that today. And tomorrow's Sunday, so the post office closed. I'll probably do it sometime during the week. Pack it up, send it to the next person, you know. You know. So anyway, let me go back to the chat. So 47, now you see why I brought that up. So anyway, Jeff B Gaming, what's up? You know, Carol Anchor, yeah, we live. Hugo Medina from Portugal, what's up? We got True SSJ. Who else we got? AC. We got Sam. What's up? We got Derpy, always around. Yerp. Call me Jay. Yes, we are live. Dímelo Loco, what's good? What else we got here? We got True Virgil. You damn right. Let's go. Philip Sin, what's up? Dolphins fan. What part of Germany? Oh, Würzburg. So I was stationed in Stuttgart. So I was living in Bublingham. So that's where I was living at. Near the base Panzerkaserne. So I was living in Bublingham. Loved Germany. Mark 45, what's up? Let's see, we got Neil. Agreed. I enjoy when my wife takes a vacation on her own to go see her mom. It's a great feeling, right? Jesus Pena. It's pronounced Baloy. No doubt. Facts. All right. Gabe, a.k.a. the Cali Kid. Yerp. What's up? Jay Gamer from the UK. What's up? Who else we got? We got... Man, I always mess up your name. What is Shining Neo? Yup, I hear it on podcasts all the time. What's up? Always Mad Gaming. Always mad, you know. Mav C. Yep, you made it. Of course, we got Hola Moco. Who else we got? Brian King. Thank you so much. Object 2B. Game Pass fan. Nothing wrong with that. Sean Benjamin. Chilling. How you doing? And of course, we got 47. We got Sticks already out there talking that trash. We got DD Vito. All right. Everybody's already talking trash here. Arielis. Let's see. Are you going to talk about China and political current events that can have any implications on the gaming industry as a whole? GT7DRM, microtransactions are the least of my worries right now. So I'm not going to talk about it right now, only because I'm not prepared to. And what I mean by not prepared to, I didn't really give much thought about it. So I don't have research information to help you. Does that make sense? But since you brought that up, I'll look into that. I'll look into the actual impact and stuff like that, and see if I could get look at some journals, you know, articles and stuff like that. And then I'll do a live on that one. I won't do it on the podcast on Tuesday. Next time I go live after the podcast, I'll bring that up, right? But I think that's a good topic. I'm just not ready to talk about that right now because I will be talking out of my butt. I wouldn't have anything, right? I need to do research or something like that. But thank you for bringing that up. That's a good thing to talk about. Let's see. We got Melahuac. I apologize. It ain't coffee and cake, Puerto Rico. It's coquito and poros. Tell your wife to get some empanadas on deck. No doubt. What else we got here that's enjoying the show? Man, we already have 100 viewers already, man. Hit the like button, please. See Fresh. Wow. Really appreciate you guys. Leech. Up in here. Link. What's up? Man, I really appreciate you guys. Overdone. My man with the best memes. Overdone memes. Mass Produce. Everybody's chilling. My man Jason up in here. Malice Flair. Hello, working on a Sunday morning. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. You know what I'm saying? You know, Sunday, man, but make that money. Make that money. Plus Ultra, you know, I was at Ilsheim, hated the base, but loved Germany. You know what I'm saying? So you were out there too? Man, I'm telling you, man, I really love Germany, man. I didn't mind the base either. I know Ramstein was like the best base up there, and that's like the Air Force. Air Force usually have the best bases. Captain Ply, I want Starhawk or Warhawk remake on PS5. Okay. I can't hate on that, you know. You know what? There's a lot of multiplayer, I think. I ain't gonna say a lot, but there's multiplayer games that I think, and I'm gonna talk about that too, you know. I think I could talk about it live too. I might bring that up, but there are multiplayer games that were on the PS3 that I think would have been more successful now than they were on the PS3. It's almost like the games were ahead of the platform. You know what I mean? So something like Warhawk would have really been more successful now than it did on PS3, especially with live service, gas model, things like that. A game like Warhawk or Starhawk, where you constantly add improvements over time, would have been much more successful. I think there's a lot of multiplayer games that the PS3 had that really man, I don't have my drink. Would have been better. Okay. Who we got here? And then I say we got N Bandy. Stuttgart's nicer than Ramstar. So the city of Stuttgart, yes, I love. Obviously, it's one of the main cities. It's great. You know, Stuttgart, love the area. What's harder, Neo or Ninja Gaiden? Man, it's good question. Is that the two games? Because Ninja Gaiden is very action-oriented. I would say combat-wise, strictly just on the merit of combat, because that's really what Ninja Gaiden really is. Ninja Gaiden is harder, the original one, because it's more focused on combat. Game-wise, overall, I would say Neo, because Neo has that Soulsborne formula, and you really have to grind through it. You know, a lot of people don't want to beat Souls games or types like that, right? Interesting, though. Ninja Gaiden, you know, especially Ninja Gaiden Black. That's a good question. That's interesting. That's a really good one. That's really good. That's a really good question. That's really good. Anyway, so what's up? All right, so we're kicking it. Hit the like button. Let's talk about the state of play. All right. Stuart Stokes, Ninja Gaiden, you can grind in Neo. Ninja Gaiden is pure skill, especially the first. That's a good point. Ninja Gaiden, Neo, you can grind, get stronger, get better, make it a little bit easier. While Ninja Gaiden, the only way you could get better at it is by just getting better at it. I mean, obviously, you unlock skills and all that stuff in skill trees, but Stuttgart, my man 47 says Stuttgart was one of Mario. Stuttgart is an amazing city. Really amazing. Carol Anchor says, yeah, Neo's more unfair than Ninja Gaiden. Enemies will one-shot you in Neo if you're underleveled. You know. Man, this is a great conversation. All right. So state of play for Hogwarts Legacy was really good, right? I didn't have much expectations for Hogwarts Legacy or really for that much for Harry Potter games because I always saw them as movie cash grabs-ins, right? Did you see the gaming media is trying to shame individuals that are excited about playing? Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. That's a good topic to talk about, right? That's a good topic, right? But let's talk about state of play. So when we first saw Hogwarts Legacy last year, I thought, it looks cool. Another cash grab on the Harry Potter license, right? Because that's what a lot of these third-party developers tend to do. They tend to use these as cash grabs, right? So I'm like, it's whatever. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I think it's okay. My daughter is, right? She grew up watching that, so by right of her watching it, I always watching it with her. So that's how I ended up seeing all of them. But I didn't think much of the game, right? When State of Play was announced that the headliner was Hogwarts Legacy, I'm like, one, I know a lot of people were like trying to find hidden meaning behind it because it's a multi-plat that's also day one on Xbox. So it's not like, is specific to PlayStation or is time exclusive on PlayStation. Nothing like that. It's just a multi-plat. So I can understand some people was like, man, a state of play over an absolute multi-plat. But my thought was a state of play, and I just kept it to myself. But I was feeling some type of, not really feeling some type of way, but I'm thinking, a movie cash in at a state of play, So I was like, all right, this is going to be interesting to see. With that state of play and actually seeing, around like it was 15 minutes of actual showing the game and then like another 10 minutes or like 10 minutes of showing, but it was like 25 minutes, right? With developer talk, they really put effort into this game. And I like that. I don't mind licensed games from movies and comic books, just as long that you put effort and not simply make the game as a cash grab and relying on the name to make it successful. Put some effort into the game. Put some design. So seeing the game and learning that it's a single player RPG, like a full-fledged RPG with an open world, that already there spells good news for me. But then watching the gameplay mechanics, how you can level up and learn new magic powers and stuff, how potions and designing potions can help you, with your abilities. But also they mentioned the focus on defensive, because the enemy is going to try to stun you and do all that stuff, but there's ways to counter it with defensive magic and defensive capabilities. So with that, it seems like it's a well thought out gameplay mechanic, right? The world looks nice and designed. You can actually fly in the world because you saw with the broomstick, and I think they even showed one with an eagle, whatever. So there's potential that this world is nicely crafted. I think some of the things that people are going to have concern about is the quest, right? Because it's all about the side quest, right? Because the main storyline is the main storyline, but how well the side quest design, right? That always is an important part, right? And also the grindy fetch quest, because, they're going to have that, right? Find 15 wands or 20 stones, all this weird stuff. How well designed is that, right? Are they boring or are they well thought out? But just looking at the game, looking at design, look at the design of the worlds, the characters, right? It seems like they really put some effort into this. In all mechanics and all parts of this game. This could be this breakout game for this studio. Looking into the studio's past, again, they made like the Harry Potter games, but again, they were like, story cash grabs. Some people enjoyed them, but it's kind of like Spider-Man before Insomniac took over. This could really break the studio out, which I hope it does. I hope the game is good. Do you think the wand combat will feel repetitive? I think because we have to see the implementation of the gameplay, right? But I think the mixture of defensive capabilities and wand combat will complement each other, right? Now, if you play it on, like, if there's level selects and you play the game on easy, then I could imagine on easy, it could be a spam fest, right? Because the enemies ain't going to be challenging. So I think you have to decide if you're nervous about, and this is just all assumptions, right? But me, personally, I will probably start this game more on the harder level than on normal or easy level, right? I'm going to start this on the harder level because I think how well you enjoy the combat is going to be, it's going to be in parallel to the enemy and how they react, right? And if you got good enemy AI and they use spells and stuff to disrupt you, then you're going to have to be on your A game to disrupt the spells, right? So we have to see how the kill mechanics. But the way they explained it, it just seems like you're going to have to learn defensive techniques, defensive spells, potions, and just certain things like that to really give yourself an edge over the enemy. But if the enemy is not challenging, then do you really need to do all that stuff? So I think it's going to be incumbent on us to really pick the right settings to get the experience that we want. So I'm definitely probably going to start the game out on hard settings, so I could really get the challenge of the game and enjoy that combat. Because I think it could be repetitive, especially if the enemies are easy and you really don't have to worry about defense, right? Because that's the key. Well, I ain't going to say that's the key. I assume that's the key, is having a defensive mindset, the defensive arts of Magic. The wand in dual sense, my man C-Fresh. That's a good point. Especially depending on the different types of wand magics that you have, gives you a different vibration and sensation on the controller. That shit will be fire. That shit will be fire. You know, WB might understand that PlayStation has new name recognition and marketing could therefore be played by WB games. Well, it's I think it's clear, especially in Europe, right? PlayStation's the go-to brand for all consoles, whatever. So you're gonna take advantage of the hottest product out there, all right? So it just makes sense, you know. And with Xbox, they're primarily pushing Game Pass. So if what we really want to associate themselves with Xbox, you really have to tie the game to Game Pass, which is probably something they don't want, you know. Because really, the momentum for Xbox is Game Pass more than the console itself. Does that make sense? So State of Play, Hogwarts, like I said, I never played a Harry Potter game. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna be honest. I was never interested in Harry Potter games. Right? This would actually be my first, you know, Wizardly World game. Right? Even though this one's not Harry Potter per se, this is Hogwarts Legacy, and I think it's based off like the late 1800s. So this is way before Harry Potter. Right? So I'm not gonna go out there in cap saying, "Oh, I've been a Harry Potter fan and I love Harry Potter game." No, I have not. I have not played it. But this State of Play, looking at it, was well received. And it's a multiplayer anyway, right? So this is not a PlayStation Xbox fanboy thing, because you're playing it day one in Xbox. So if you're an Xbox gamer, watch this State of Play, because it's the same game that's going to be on Xbox. So if you have, you know, so if you're listening to it, and even if you're an Xbox fanboy, like, oh, these ponies hype and say, watch the State of Play, right? Ignore the fact that it's PlayStation. It's the same game on Xbox. It looks really good. So everyone's going to play this game, right? Or everyone who saw State of Play has this positive reaction, which is why they want to play this game. So just watch the State of Play so you can see it if you want to get it on Xbox or not. It looks really good. It looks very well thought out. So I'm looking forward to more of it. And if it keeps showing these positive impressions, I'm going to play it day one. It's announced for holiday 2022, so it could be October, November, December, any of those time. October has Forspoken, so I hope it doesn't come out in October. I hope it comes out November, because November is normally Call of Duty month, and I'm not interested in Call of Duty anymore. I haven't been really interested in Call of Duty in years, not as much. So really, I don't really get into Call of Duty multiplayer. I haven't really dedicated myself to Call of Duty multiplayer in years. It's been a long time. I think the last one was Black Ops. And not even this current Black Ops. I don't even remember. Right? So I would like October for Forspoken, Harry Potter for November, and then December is just the final month. I'm more interested in just the holiday break and Christmas with the family and shopping. I'm too busy really in December for that, right? But if it comes out October, I'm like, man, it's going to be just like February, where you have Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West, right? But if you're on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, is this game coming out for the Switch? I mean, I could look it up right now, but you guys could just answer yes for Switch also. Is Hogwarts Legacy also coming out for the Switch? I don't know. Or is it just Xbox, PlayStation, and PC? It is? It's coming out on the Switch. Oh my god. Alright. Hey, I mean, alright. It's mobile, it's portable. Right? At my man Karanka's like at 144p FPS. Hey, but it's portable. You know, steady flow, what's good? Wow. It's on the Switch. Boy, oh boy. Sergeant says, meanwhile, I'm still waiting on Lost Soul side update. Man, why you gotta keep bringing that up, bro? That shit is painful, man. That is painful, man. I don't even want to talk about that game now. It's just been took forever. Gotham Knights is also October, maybe. Yeah. So I'm still kind of pissed off. It's not an actual Batman game, but I'm gonna look into it. I know my first reaction. Also, I was like, oh my god, why they gotta keep doing this gas stuff? Could be the cloud version, maybe. Could be. He's talking about, Harry Potter Switch, but also the side too, right? But let me segue into the next topic, right? And this is going to get good. So right now, I would really like you guys to hit the like button. We got over 150 people. 68 likes. Just hit the like button. It's not an NFT. Nobody owns it. It's not part of a subscription service. Nobody has to pay anything. You just got to just hit that simple button. That's it. And just continue on with your day, right? Let's talk about when things get turned right back at you. Let's talk about people who like to talk trash, but then they can't take it. They could dish it, but they can't receive it, right? Let's talk about people who want to get inside the boxing ring, but complain that they get punched in the face. Let's talk about that, right? And if you like how I started out the conversation to the next topic, then you most definitely should hit the like button. What I'm talking about is you are now seeing Xbox fanboys complaining that PlayStation fans, fanboys, sure, call them whatever you want, are using Harry Potter to shame Starfield. Yes, they're using a multiplat that you can play on Xbox, which I don't agree with it, right? But I understand why they're doing this. But they're using a multiplat to shame Starfield for its deficiencies. Starfield was announced to be a holiday 2022 release last year. In fact, specifically November 11th. 11/11/22, right? So it has a specific date. Correct? Hit the like button if I'm correct. For everybody else, hit me up in the chat. Am I correct? Last year, Bethesda announced November 11th, 2022. Like in a little secret coded thing. So now that's why everybody's saying Starfield is a holiday release, specifically November. Are we in agreement here? If I'm wrong, please let me know if I'm wrong. I have no problem with being educated and people telling me I'm wrong. Hey, Portak, no, blah, blah, blah. This is the time to correct me. Right? So last year, we already knew, right? By Bethesda's information clues, November is when we get in 2022. Yet, to this day, as I am talking to you live right now, to this day, to this very second, no gameplay has been shown. Not one gameplay of Starfield. We're not even sure what exactly the game is. We have an idea that it's going to be an RPG, right? Because that's what they do. Elder Scrolls, Fallout. So we are assuming that's what they're trying to do, right? We're assuming they're going to try to follow the same formula. Because Elder Scrolls and Fallout is the same formula. It's just different environments, right? You got the medieval, wizardry, elves world. And then you got the future nuclear gun. So you got wands and guns. And it's just, but it's the same thing. It's the same structure, right? The Bethesda template for these type of games. So we're assuming is this template, but they're just going to take these characters, They're going to remove the elven orc knight armor. They're going to remove the soldier, brotherhood, brotherhood of steel armor. Now you got this butt naked character, and they're just going to put an astronaut suit on this person. And then that person is going to repeat the same thing the characters do in Fallout and the characters do in Elder Scrolls. Right? Now, I'm not knocking Elder Scrolls and Fallout because I love those games. I absolutely love those games. I love the gameplay. It's like Souls games too, right? Everybody loves the Souls formula. So you just don't get tired of it. So I'm not trying to knock Elder Scrolls and Fallout because I love those games. I absolutely love those games. I can't wait to play the next Elder Scrolls and Fallout game, right? But you could figure Starfield is, and I think Link in the chat saying Ty Howard described it as Skyrim in space. Okay. Skyrim, Fallout in space, sure. But we don't know more details to it, right? No gameplay. We're just making assumptions on basically what it is. Warner Brothers, with this Hogwarts project, announced a holiday release, and they not only showed gameplay, they showed a whole showcase. Well, not a showcase, but state of play, whatever, for 25 minutes. Into very detailed, right? Now, of course, Starfield still has plenty of time to show gameplay. I think they're going to have a June showing, or there's a summer showing that eventually will happen, right? So, sure. But for right here, right now, Hogwarts Legacy has a leg up on Starfield. Now, here's the thing. I just said Hogwarts Legacy has a leg up on Starfield. Now, that statement in of itself doesn't make sense because why are we comparing Hogwarts Legacy to Starfield? They have nothing to do with each other. They're completely irrelevant to one another. No, nothing. Right? Just because they're both RPGs doesn't mean one's better than the other one, whatever. If you're gonna have people that no matter what are more interested in Starfield than Hogwarts Legacy, and then you're gonna have the Harry Potter fans who don't care about anything Bethesda, but they can't wait to get their hands on Hogwarts Legacy. Doesn't mean anything. So why would that even be a comparison to begin with? My man Steady Flow with the super chat out here repping the channel said Xbox always get clapped back. I started to feel bad. Laugh out, karma's a bitch. And Steady Flow is alluding to my point, right? Because why is Hogwarts Legacy even in the same conversation as Starfield? It shouldn't be. The reason why it is, though, because it's just what Steady Flow is saying. It's a clapback to the same logic that has been used over the last 2 weeks with Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West. Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West are two totally separate games, right? And one game is a multiplayer across all the major devices, or most of the major devices, not on Switch, right? But it's on Xbox, legacy platforms, and the current generation platforms, right? You could play on Xbox One family, and you can play on the Xbox Series family. It's on PlayStation's legacy platforms and current platform. You can play on the PS4 family of platforms and the PS5, and you can play on PC. So it's everyone. So obviously there's going to be a lot of conversations on this game all across the board. While Horizon Forbidden West is specifically the PlayStation platform of family, both legacy and current. So you got that audience. But, when you had two major games, right? When you have major games and they all are showing up on one particular platform, right? Like, any other time in the generation, during last gen or the gen before that, during the 360 gen, during the PlayStation 2 gen, during the PS4 gen, when a console has a banging exclusive and banging multiplats, the only conversation that would be happening is like, wow, look at this console getting all these games. I don't even know how to put the time into it. And then you would judge the other console and be like, what are you doing, son? Like, you're just standing there looking at me stupid. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, why are you here? Like, why do you exist in the industry? Are you going to do something? You understand what I'm saying? That's what would normally happen. But now, these Xbox fanboys ensured that didn't happen. And what's crazy is the media did the same thing. And what they did was, instead of saying, God damn, PlayStation started off with Uncharted, collection. Then they went into Sifu, Horizon Forbidden West. Elden Ring is on there. Yes, it's a multiplayer, but the momentum's going. Then they kicked off March with Gran Turismo 7 for those that are into racing. Like, yo, these guys are just, they're just doing it. And any other gen, the media and the gamers would be like, wow, this is crazy. And then they will look at all the other competing platforms that ain't doing anything, right? And be like, you're going to do something? Right? But that didn't happen. What happened was, wait. Elden Ring overshadowed Horizon Zero Dawn. Forbidden West. That's it. Trash. Failed. Because I'm talking about Elden Ring because I play on Xbox. And since I'm talking about it and he's talking about it and everybody's talking about it, nobody's talking about Forbidden West. Even though I don't own the PlayStation. Or I only play on PC. So the actual PlayStation fans are able to play Forbidden West and are still playing Forbidden West. And to this day, still showing screenshots on the game. Still showing video clips. None of them matters. What matters is what everybody else is talking about, who are primarily on PC and Xbox. While the PlayStation fans, right, we're looking at them like, we got both Horizon and Elden Ring. Like, we're doing both. Like, this is great. This is why PlayStation is this top of this games. Because more often than not, PlayStation don't really put us in a position where it's like dry, you know what I'm saying? Like, right now, we kicking it. We got Sifu, Gran Turismo, Elden Ring, because of great third-party support. Sifu's also considered great third-party support. Forbidden West. We just eating, bro. We just like, boom, we just eating. On Xbox, you're like, all right, they released Crossfire, which is a disaster. And then, Elden Ring. You see what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people gravitate to PlayStation, because it just seems like they do a good job of just satisfying that palate. But instead of recognizing that, it became a conversation to include the media. Elden Ring sold this, therefore Horizon is done. While everybody's still playing Horizon. Everybody's still playing and buying Horizon. And enjoying Elden Ring. You see what I'm saying? So now, this stupid narrative of overshadowed. What's funny is, in 2022, they're also saying, but it happened before. Breath of the Wild overshadowed, Horizon Zero Dawn. And I'm like, Horizon Zero Dawn 1 ended up selling 20 million. Which doesn't happen for a lot of games. And it finally put Guerrilla on the map as a quality top studio. And if you look at 27, if you go back to the timeline of 27, nobody, not even the Nintendo guys were saying, that Breath of the Wild overshadowed Zero Dawn. Nobody was saying that. Nobody was having those conversations because Zero Dawn was a game on the Switch. Zero Dawn was a game on the PlayStation 4. You can't overshadow one another. They're on two separate platforms. If you want to play Zelda, it's because you want to play on the Switch. If you want to play Horizon Zero Dawn, you're playing on PlayStation. That conversation was happening. The only time the two conversations actually linked was during the Game Awards, where Zelda was winning majority of the Game Awards. That's really the only time the two really was really battling it out. But in 2022, they want to rewrite history of 2017. They want to mention things that didn't actually happen in 2017. So now you got this stupid narrative of overshadowing all, because that's the new thing now. Now, it's multi-platform versus exclusives. I'm not surprised that this came from the Xbox community. I'm not surprised at all, because it's always been that way from them. You primarily play multi-platform on Xbox, right? And sure, you could say the majority of games are developed by the third-party industry, which are multi-plat, sure. But that's just quantity. how much of that quantity can you say, how much of your game experience can you say where the quality of the games is unmatched? On PlayStation, a lot of PlayStation games are just cannot be matched by third party. Some of these games are beyond what third parties are doing, right? It's just the quality of some of these PlayStation games are just, they're just superb, right? That's an opinion, and that's not an opinion a lot of PlayStation gamers have, sure, right? Right? If many of you don't believe that, that's fine, you know. But when I play on PlayStation and I play some of these first-party games, they provide a level of quality that a lot of most third-party don't. There's only a few third-party that can actually match that. You know, I think Rockstar's one. I wasn't too happy about Red Dead Redemption 2, but overall, I still say Rockstar, through my years of playing their games, have been superb, man. In fact, I'm missing some of the games they used to make, like Manhunt and stuff. Superb. I miss the Warriors. They just make great quality games overall, right? So I'm still a huge Rockstar fan, right? You know, but on Xbox you really can't say that. You would have to go back to the 360 era to actually look at Xbox of when quality exclusives that were superb. Like, you know, Halo 3 was an amazing game. Gears, amazing game. Gears 1, 2, and 3, those were amazing games, right? But you would have to go that far back. But since the Xbox One gen, it's like, bruh, like, nah. You know? It's crazy. So now, again, that logic which they created is now being used and flipped right back on them with Harry Potter and Starfield, because the PlayStation guys are like, hey, how come Hogwarts Legacy? How come Hogwarts Legacy is a holiday release game, but they gave in-depth gameplay? And they talked about the gameplay into detail, yet to this day, silence from Bethesda. Like nothing. They decide to show some stupid clip of a robot. Like, nobody wants to see that. Why are you putting energy into that? Right? Like, why are you putting energy into just having videos talking about the game? Why don't you just show the game first, in-depth gameplay? And then once everybody sees all that, then you can have your little dev diary dialogues. No one wants to hear dev diary dialogues now with little to no gameplay. Show the gameplay first, then do your dev diary logs and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's being used right now. And now, the Xbox fanboys are upset. Oh, why are you doing this? I can play Hogwarts Legacy and Starfield on my console. Gee, what logic? You can play both games on your console, so it doesn't make sense to compare the two. Sounds familiar. Elden Ring, Horizon, both being played on the same platform. Not hard to put two and together. But y'all didn't think about that, right? Because all these haters wanted to do was try to diminish Forbidden West. Because again, these Xbox fanboys, a lot of these guys who hype up Xbox, they put more energy in trying to diminish PlayStation. Because in reality, Xbox hasn't showed the propensity to actually outshine PlayStation. They haven't really shown it. I mean, even with their Halo right now, you know, the Player's Choice Game of the Year for 2021, and just look at it. I think they just delayed the updates again. Actual Halo fans are complaining about the game. The dropout rate is falling quickly. I mean, that's all from what they're saying. But that's the Player's Choice Game of the Year. You see what I'm saying? You know, so the logic's being thrown back, and they can't take it. Now, again, the logic overall does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're putting a multi-plat versus an exclusive. Doesn't make sense at all. Right? I said that it doesn't make sense with the PlayStation. It doesn't make sense now with the Hogwarts. The only thing I can see is they just doing it to antagonize the very people that created this stupid logic. That's about it. But it doesn't really make sense to compare Hogwarts to Starfield. It doesn't. Let's give credit to Hogwarts that is due, and then just leave it at that. Starfield will get its due or don't get its due based on what it does, right? Just like Elden Ring got its due, 12 million sales. That's actually phenomenal, right? The hype behind From Software, I'm really happy for From Software. They deserve it. They make great quality games. And I'm happy for Forbidden West. It's a great game. I think it's going to be very successful. It's going to do good things. You know, it's going to do what it does, right? Now, Tom Warren. Somebody mentioned Tom Warren, right? Y'all see what's happening with Tom Warren? Homeboy wallin', right? Let me see if I can find what's going on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, J-Dub's out here crazy. Let's talk about this. Hold on. Oh, let's switch the topic. Hold on a minute. Espera. Un minute. Hold on. Ooh. Shout out to J-Dub. Hold on, give me a second. Let me do something here. Let me close this out too. Panic, PS77, and the alarm. All right, hold on. Let me see. What's this image? Okay, I'm gonna replace this image. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna be in the middle of replacing this image. Give me 1 second. I'll show y'all something. Where is it? Here we go. I'm gonna have to fix it up a bit. Okay. Let me put this right here. Okay, so this is the article. I'm gonna read it. Let me shrink my shit right here. Give me a second. Let me minimize my webcam. Ooh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Hold on a minute. Okay, back at this one. And let me fix here. Alright, so this is partial. I can't fit the whole thing on the screen, right? I know there's maybe a little delay, but is everyone pretty much seeing? Everyone's pretty much seeing the stuff. Oh, the Ruham, what up, bro? My brother from another mother. What's good, cousin? How's everything? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for rocking through. Everybody see the screen, the updated screen now? Let me see if it's updated. It should be updated right now. Those words, everybody got it? All right. Let me I'm gonna read the whole thing to you. So this is I think this is the verbiage for the GTA 5. Okay. Now, this is the GTA 5 upgrade. Okay. Everybody seeing it? All right. I'm going to read the whole thing. All right. I'm going to read the whole thing. So, this is from Digital Foundry. Says the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So, the topic, I want to make sure everybody understands. GTA 5 next gen upgrade performance between PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series platforms. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X offer identical visual modes. Fidelity gives you native 4K, ray tracing, and 30 FPS. Performance offers native 1440p at 60 FPS. And they also have a ray tracing performance mode, which offers dynamic 1440p ray tracing and 60 FPS. Based on the analysis above, it seems PS5 holds pretty much rock solid in all modes, with only small 1 or 2 frame dips in performance mode when things get crazy. Meanwhile, the Xbox Series X really seems to struggle in RT performance mode, dropping all the way down to the 30 to 40 FPS range. Now keep in mind, ray tracing performance mode is based on 60 frames for ray tracing performance mode, right? But it's dropping down to the 30s and 40 range. And performance mode dips to the low 50s. Things are even worse on the Xbox Series S. That console should have never been made. Which offers only 2 modes. Fidelity mode at 1440p 30. And performance 1080p 60. Fidelity mode does not consistently hold 30 FPS, dropping into the mid-20s. And performance seems to hover pretty consistently in the 40 FPS range once things heat up. So yeah, not exactly ideal for a nearly decade-old game. In addition to better performance, the PS5 also offers other benefits, including DualSense support and what appears to be significantly better load times. For now, it definitely seems to be the platform of choice. I'm just going to chill and read. I'll let everybody reflect on that. I'm going to let everybody reflect that there are people who play on Xbox because of the better versions of the multiplats. I shout out to my boy Jason. My boy Jason said, make sure. My boy Jason said, I thought Series S was more powerful than the PS5. Yeah, I thought, Series S with the better CPU was going to hold frame rates better. And I just want to, let me see something here. Let me see something. Okay. So, I'm going to show y'all something. I'll show you something on my phone. me show you something. Right, let me do this. So that way you can really see it, right? All right. This right here is Xbox Live most played games. So this is what Xbox players are playing the most. So where you see Fortnite, that's number 1, and then you work your way across. So you see Call of Duty's number 2, Elden Ring's number 3. Ugh, God damn it. Let me go back for whatever reason. Anyway. Okay, so Call of Duty is number 1, right? You see it. And then when we go up, Apex is number 4. Grand Theft Auto's number 5. The 5th most played game on Xbox. Then you got Roblox, number 6. Destiny's number 7. Damn, Siege is number 8. Guardian of the Galaxy is probably because it's on Game Pass or moved up a notch. Then you got 2K. And now you finally got Halo. More people are playing Grand Theft Auto than the free-to-play Halo. Oh, and then you got Madden. Then you got Minecraft, Cold War. Then you got Forza Horizon 5. So Grand Theft Auto 5 is the 5th most played game on Xbox. And the very best next generation or current generation version outside of PC. But if you're a console only gamer, because that's the term they use, I only play on consoles. No way I will go to PC. It's never going to happen. I'll quit gaming before that happens. I'm a console only gamer. Well, the best console only version is on PS5. The RDNA 1.5 10 T-flop console, or 9.2 T-flop. Remember that one. 9.2 T-flops. 9.2 T-flops. You saw, I just showed it to you. I'm just saying. So, we're going to play Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Series X when we've been hyping to play the best console version possible because you got to have the best experience? Or is a new metric formed up? You know? Do we like something else? What's that shit called from the Xbox Velocity Architecture? Gamer Zoom. Oh, it's all about the Gamer Zoom now. I'm just saying. I mean, to each own. Everybody enjoyed the way you want to play, but there's a lot of things that was mentioned. There was a lot of advertisements and expectations from Xbox Series X to be a particular console, primarily of how it's going to provide the best experience that consoles can possibly provide. And many downplayed the PlayStation 5, thinking it's not going to be that console. Oh, it's a good console. It'll be a good, you can still get good games, but the Series X is clearly going to be, you know, where you get the best experience of how it plays, graphics, resolution. It's just going to play and feel better on Xbox Series X. That's what they advertised. That's why it's advertised. And they pushed that message all throughout 2020. And yet here we are. Still. Now it's funny. I didn't push that message. Right? Shout out to Jason. My man says, while other companies, example, Call of Duty, have to make a new game every year, Rockstar been getting money off the same game for almost 10 years. That's just like, yo, for real, man. That game is something unique on its own. You know, in my opinion, that game's a bigger success story than Fortnite, simply because you had to buy the game. You know, it wasn't a free to play. Grand Theft Auto is legitimately a game you have to buy, and it's just popping across 3 generations. It's crazy. That's just bananas, right? But back to these gamers, right? So sure. Lots of conversation, lots of podcasts. A whole hell of a lot, right? Right? And it wasn't just simply conversations of just the Xbox itself. It was always in comparison against the PlayStation because the narrative And the information that had to be pushed was to let the consumers know that you're going to get the better gaming experience on Xbox because it will actually run the games at its best, obviously outside of the PC, high-performing PC ecosystem, right? The message was strictly to consumers who are console gamer-centric, and that if you want the best experience across all multiplats, it's generally going to be delivered on Xbox. And that was clearly the biggest bullshit ever. What's funny is PlayStation 4 did a better job of showing that it outperforms the Xbox One than what Xbox Series X is doing with the PS5. Because you actually saw that, the PS4 was running games at 1080p, 30 frames, right? While the Xbox was either 900p or 720p. So you saw clear advantages, right? And the Xbox community downplayed the hell out of it. I even got videos saying that the conversation resolution was stupid from the same people who are now hyping nothing but resolution and power. I got the videos. I think most of you guys saw it also by now. Right? But here we are. The conversations got so outlandish that they even tried to pit the Series S on the PS5. That's how much effort they wanted Xbox to succeed and look like the go-to console, because what they're trying to do is advertise and hope people will make the decision to buy Xbox over PlayStation. That's what they wanted. There's only one problem. Most people don't believe you guys. They don't. They don't believe you. Most people, most gamers did the smart thing. They waited. I mean, sure, you got the hardcore that were day one buyers, sure. But those that were really interested in performance and making like which is the console that really will have the better, performance experience, they waited just to see how things turned out. And those gamers are seeing the results. And they're making the decision. They're buying a PlayStation 5. Because foreseeably, at this point in the game, it's 2022, Xbox is not going to be exponentially, magically more powerful. There's not a switch that you one day click and, oh my God, power! That's not going to happen. It's 2022. Whatever the Xbox has, it has. And whatever the Xbox is not being used, probably because it sucks and developers don't care to use it. They don't see the purpose behind it. It's a year and a half. Like, how much more stuff does this console have that's absolutely not being used and developers absolutely have no idea what's it about? I don't see that logic. That logic doesn't make sense. Imagine, I made a tweet, right? And I said, imagine buying a car, brand new car, let's say a Tesla or whatever. And you've been driving this car for about a year and a half. You're a car owner for a year and a half, and your car still is not using features to make your driving experience the best experience possible. How useless would that car be? Would you not be pissed off at your car? You own the damn thing for over a year and a half, and you still have to wait for stuff to fully utilize your car? And it's electronics and entertainment stuff like that? Like what? Imagine you go on vacation on a popular resort and you pay for it. And you're going to be there for 2 weeks. But when you show up, you can't use all the quality of life amenities that the resort provides. You don't have access to it. So all the stuff that was advertised to you, all the stuff that you saw, I'm like, man, this is going to be a fun. I can't wait to go to this resort. It's going to be a great time. And then when you get there, you can't use it. But you paid for it. Would that be acceptable? Will any of that be acceptable? It's 2022. It's March already. How much more time does this console really need to get off its ass? I don't believe none of these Xbox where, man, the Xbox is still not fully utilized. There's still stuff that's just being ignored. If it's ignored, I would tend to believe that developers probably feel that it's not really useful. It's not really, there's no point in using it. It's not going to be that great. Maybe a little bit better, maybe not even worth the energy. Because it's 2022. Like, goddamn, you really launched the. I mean, if these Xbox influencers could admit that the Series platform should have been delayed, it wasn't ready, then I would listen. That Microsoft launched a half-baked console that was nowhere near ready for launch. Okay, if they admitted that, like if that was the problem, and they just straight out said it, like, yeah, this console should have been launched in 2021 or even 2022, not 2020. They only launched it in 2020 because they're not going to give PlayStation 5 the heads up. Then I would be like, all right, so you admit the console wasn't ready, which is right, all these things are not ready. All right, I could respect that. I can respect that you're being honest and you know this console was not fully developed, was not fully ready. It still should have been cooking in the oven. But because Microsoft's not going to allow PlayStation 5 to have a year or 2 year advantage over it, they just forced and said, yes, we released it. If somebody did that explanation, then this whole thing of what's going on would make sense. Then I would be more inclined to be like, okay, now I see why stuff is happening the way it's happening. Because this console should have never been out there in the first place. But no one's saying that. Now, maybe because it's not true. Well, if that's not true, if the Xbox Series platform was ready to launch, then that means the console is what it is. It ain't this magical beast that eats monsters. That was all bullshit. It was all BS. You got what you got. It ain't going to get better. It's not going to get more mystically superior. Right? It's going to be no different than any generation of other consoles. It will get better as you get, more proficient. But the same thing's going to happen with the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 is not going to stay stagnant. It's going to get better and better. And out of all developers that truly know how to make a PlayStation platform shine, it's Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog can truly show the world what can be done on a PlayStation platform. They've done it time and time again. Time and time again. If there's any developer that truly brings out the best in their respective platform, is Naughty Dog. There's no developer that's close as Naughty Dog that could bring out the best on Xbox. I mean, they sure bring out, like, let's say Coalition probably is, right? Maybe. But Naughty Dog, on what they do on PlayStation 5, sometimes people don't even believe. Remember when we saw the first showing, not the first showing, but the E3 showing of The Last of Us 2, with Ellie fighting? You had dudes saying that was running on a PS5 dev kit. They were calling out Sony for false advertisement. That's not running on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro. That's running on the PS5 dev kit. And you're pretending that it's a PS4. That's how incredible Naughty Dog is. When they're being falsely accused of running their games on a much more powerful hardware. Tell me that's not crazy. You never heard of anyone making that false claim on Xbox. Most of the time, the claims on Xbox now is, yeah, that's the PC version. You're not showing the console version. And we end up right 9 times out of 10. They did show the PC version. Because now PC is Xbox ecosystem. Vegan VR King. Kraken's eating anacondas. PS5 is king. He got the pony right there. Shout out to VJ King. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, people. Truly appreciate y'all. Thank you for rocking out. But tell me this is not crazy. Yo, listen. And you know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you, and most of you know, most of you see my videos. I don't really care about the intricacies of better version of games between two major platforms. As long as they're similar and they're running great, you're going to enjoy the experience. I have never been the power guy. I didn't actually bash Xbox One for being a 720p machine or 900p machine. I didn't do it. It didn't really bother me. Some of the games still look great. I was more concerned about the quality and the type of games the console was releasing, or lack of quality, right? More than the power. So I never really care about that. But the reason why I'm having a conversation now is not so much the actual console and the power. It's making sure we never forget the people that bullshitted us this whole goddamn time. That we don't forget the liars and the frauds who are purposely lying to their own community. It's not even really to the PlayStation community, because we're looking at them like, we don't believe you. But it's your own subscribers and fan base that you're fooling. What? Just another case. And I'm telling you, it's not going to end. It's not going to end. In fact, I think, I'm not going to say it's going to be worse, but I think it's going to be consistent. I think all throughout the remainder of the gen, I think you're going to have more and more developers that find PlayStation 5's architecture much better than Xbox. And it's going to result in these performance differences. I think Mark Cerny designed the great console for developers to use. Mark Cerny addressed the bottlenecks and issues that developers will have. I don't think Microsoft did such a great job. I think they did status quo. I think they just developed it no different than any other generation how you develop a console. While Mark Cerny, I think, was more deliberate, more detailed, and really, really looked into the things that plague development, things that really hold back gaming, bottlenecks, and use that experience to be like, we're gonna try to solve as much as those issues on stuff like that. And I think that's the difference. I think Mark Cerny really, and his staff and all the people who engineered the PlayStation 5, I think they really, really, really focused on a lot of things that eventually, where developers run across issues and bottlenecks and problems. And they really tried their best to minimize, mitigate, or eliminate that. While I think Xbox, Microsoft, they just did the status quo. Like the normal procedure of putting a console together, what technology's out there, put the technology together, put it in, wrap it up, get the tools, get the development kits, and then push it out there. And then whatever problems is out there, they'll figure it out maybe through updates or whatever, instead of being at the front of the design process and addressing it right then and there. I think they just did the normal process, right? While Sony said, you know what? Let's not do the normal process where we just put everything together, reach it out there, and then as these issues comes up, we'll address it maybe through updates as best we can. No. Mark Cerny tried to figure it out right then and there. What are the potential issues? What issues can this thing come up with? Let's figure it out now so we don't design those inherent flaws in it. That's just my guess. And it just seems that it's working. Viewmaster. I feel both current gen of systems are lackluster, but overall PS5 is a better console for gaming. Nintendo in its own bracket these days. I'm not gonna say your opinion's wrong, but I would like you to talk a little bit more about lackluster, because there is one thing we gotta forget, right? And just I'm not gonna say your opinion's wrong or whatever. I'm not gonna say that. It's very interesting, right? It's a very interesting. Thank you for the super chat. Great convo. But I just want to say, did you consider this? And I'm not saying you didn't. I just want to say this. We also have to remember there is a monetary limit. A monetary limit truly. That's why, I'll be honest, I was never, when it comes to performance, a console comparison with PC, right? Because PC, its only limitation in hardware design is the user themselves. The type of PC you get is the type of PC you're willing to spend, right? So it's your personal budget, because the industry has no problems releasing $1,500, $2,000 GPUs. They have no problem with that. Sure, now the GPUs are a lot cheaper. It's just aftermarket raised the price, made it more expensive. But you've seen the industry have no issues releasing a beast GPU for 2Gs. And if you buy, you buy. If you don't, you don't, right? Console manufacturers don't have that luxury. They have to fit their consoles within a budget. And they sell at a loss too, but it still has to fit at a budget. And it's not dedicated to just one component. It's dedicated to multiple components. You got the CPU, you got the GPU, you got the RAM, you got the motherboard that has to be manufactured, you got the soundboard, you got the Ethernet, Wi-Fi, USB ports, power supply, the actual shell that you encase everything in, the case, and then the manufacturing cost, and then the shipping, boxing it up, and shipping it out. All of that is included in the $500 price tag, to which they're already taking a loss. There's only so much a product can do with that major limitation as compared to a PC that could better perform. I know some people say, these consoles should be better performing, whatever. It could better perform. if they were willing to sell it at a more expensive price. You know, if they were willing to sell these consoles at $600 or $700, yes, you will get better performance than what we get now. But they will have to sell it at $700, and they will probably still take a loss because it'd probably be like $900 to build or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing about consoles. You got to look at it from a perspective of how much did it take to put everything together. Even its own OS, right? Because these consoles come with their OS. CPU, GPU, power supply, motherboard, soundboard, whatever, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, USB ports, manufactured together in a case, and the controller. The controller alone is $70. So that $500 case also includes a $70 controller, right? So there's only so much a console can do. So with the price limitation, all these consoles delivering what the price limitation, right? That's why console gamers try to use PC, but at the price of a console. What type of PC and its performance can you get from a $500 build PC of similar price? That means CPU, GPU, RAM. We're not even include the keyboard and mouse, right? We'll just stick with the desktop tower itself, right? Motherboard, CPU, GPU, RAM. You know, Ethernet card and sound card. And power supply boxed in a case. And it all costs $500. What type of performance would that type of PC provide? Probably not very good at all. You understand what I'm saying? And definitely not equivalent to the graphics and settings and stuff like that. Does that make sense? So that's really the thing about consoles, right? PC in itself will always be better performing, but that's because the user will decide to. You know, it's only limitations the user, not the industry. The industry will release a $700 CPU, a $500 GPU, RAM. It's just on the users that are willing to buy it. Thank you for the super chat, Viewmaster. Appreciate it. Thank you for rocking out. Series S, waste of chip components. Completely agree. And I'm not buying this whole, it's for the users that can't afford games and Game Pass. Listen, majority of the people who are poor are not buying new consoles. They're not. They are still playing on the Xbox Ones because they bought it like in 2020. They're still playing on the PS4s because they bought it like in 2020 for like $100. And all they're worrying about is all these cheap games. They're not getting their kids or whatever brand new next generation consoles, even if it is $300. They're not. I don't think you guys understand what the issues poor people have. Oh, SSD. Thank you, Eastern Conference Gaming. Yeah, SSD. Now, it's not even basic hard disk drive, which are very cheap. It's actual SSD drives. Right? And that's $500. You saw the externals, right? The expandable SSD drives that are similar or even a little bit better than PS5 SSD drives. Them shits is like $200-$300. And that's only for like a $200, $250 for like a terabyte. If you go for 2 terabyte, you're spending like $4. So that's the price in the console in of itself, like I said. So these consoles, even the Xbox, I think they're all doing great for what you're buying, for everything that's being packed in, right? But the shit we're talking now is the lies. Just a lot of BS. Now people want to talk about Tom Warren. Hold on. Let me pull that up. Because I talked about that, right? Donde está? Where you at? Where you at? Give me a minute. 1 minute. Here we go. I found it. All right, I found it. Oh, good old Tom Warren. This guy, man. This guy, bro. Yo, like, Tom, if you're listening, why are you constantly making yourself look silly to defend Xbox? I can understand the Xbox fanboys. I get them. But aren't you like professionally working in this, like, what's going on here? Like, why would you do that to yourself? Like, does Microsoft got you on a payroll or something? Give me a second. Because Twitter is acting... I need to get that image. What's going on here? Alright. Oh, Tom. Tom. You've been a bad boy. Dame un momento. Por favor, dame un momentito. Let me get this. Let me get the visual aid to show you guys. It's just... let me fix this. Let me fix my webcam once again. Let me shrink myself once again. Right? Lock that in place. Let me see. Yeah, let me replace that one with Tom Warren. Here we go. Done. All right. So as you can see here, user said, since when? Oh my God. Mira. So you have this user that said, since when this is both doing? I don't know why he's replying to Tom Warren, but he says, you have the full game on disc on something like Horizon, even GT actually, but a game like Halo doesn't have full game data. So if y'all remember Halo Infinite, they had the disc, but the data's not even on the disc. You had to like download it, right? So Tom Warren tried to clap back, you know, was like, hold on, let me shrink this up a little bit. There we go. So Tom Warren was like, so you still need to download an update for most PS disc games anyway, or go online to play. Doesn't mean much. So Tom Warren out there made an official statement saying that most PS disc-based games, you gotta go download the update in order to play it. Right? So, user doesn't play. Right? Came out and said, this is incorrect. 90% of the PlayStation discs do not require any form of internet to play. This requirement affects almost all commercial release. Let me get the other screenshot that does it plays full statement. So let me get that for you also. And this one's interesting. Give me a moment. Okay, got it. Now I'm about to show it. So you can see the full screen. Pretty interesting. Gonna close that one out. All right, I'm gonna replace this one. And we'll go with this one because this one has the full verbiage. Now let me fix the screen a bit. Okay, cool. All right. Now you notice right here, it says this tweet was deleted by the tweet author. So my man Tom Warren is like, yeah, I don't want the smoke. I don't want the smoke. I was wrong. You damn right he was wrong. You always wrong, bro. Like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Right? But anyway, doesn't play. Full statement was, this is incorrect. 90% of PlayStation discs do not require any form of internet to play. This requirement affects almost all commercial releases. We test almost every commercial release. Xbox, meanwhile, virtually 95% of games require the internet to function. I mean, What do you guys think? Let me see. Shout out to View. Let's see. Oh, we got Red View Masters. Let's see. True SSJ. I see you get a super chat. Hold on. True SSJ. Thank you for the super chat. The thing is, last gen AMD and Nvidia in response created GPUs at $200 that performed as well as the PS4, making build cheap back then. I would say that, and I think that's attributed because PS4 and Xbox One really created underpowered platforms. I think the Xbox One GPU was actually based off a GPU that was released in early 2012, early 2011, and I think PS4's GPU was based off early 2012. So they use off-the-shelf common GPUs and components, and then they use mobile CPUs, right? Because it was the Jaguar cores, which is actually a mobile CPU. So Xbox One PS4 was very underpowered, which I think was the reason why they tried to release mid-gen refresh. Right? But Tom deleted that tweet. My man got decimated. He was talking that talk. But this proves one thing. Right? He proves one thing. Guys like Tom Warren, they make official statements with no research and no proof. That's what you gotta understand. And you don't know when they say something, are they saying it based on research and information they gathered, or are they just blowing stuff out of their butt? So a comment like that, he clearly didn't do the research. He just made an assumption. Does it play? Actually does research. As you can see, they test almost every commercial release. That means they purposely buy physical disc games and pop it, and they do their assessments and judgment based on actual science behind the work behind it. Tom Warren doesn't do that. So why is he out there making false statements about that with no research or work? And does it play? Was like, that is incorrect. And they did it through experience. They actually tell them, we actually go out there and buy the physical games. And we make these determinations. We track and we log it. So 90% of the PlayStation games, approximately, do not, and he put that in big caps, doesn't play, require any form of internet. That means you could just have the console, plug it on your TV, put in the disc, install it, and you're playing. No connection to the internet whatsoever. While on Xbox, if you try to do the same thing, you must connect to the internet. Now, here's the thing. Some people may not find it a big deal because everybody has the internet. Or not everybody, but a lot of people have internet, right? We have our phone. Hell, we're on the internet right now, streaming this podcast. But that's not the point. The point is just simply passing accurate information. No one's trying to say or make the argument that if you're an Xbox fan, you're being shamed or you feel some type of way. In fact, if you're an Xbox fan, and this statement makes you feel some type of way, you really need to self-reflect. Because this is just a technological fact. It's just technology. It's factually talking about tech. And right now, on Xbox, majority of games, you have to connect to the internet. It's not a personal attack. No one's making fun of your family. It's not a personal insult. We're not saying it's your fault. It's just how technology works on Xbox. While on PlayStation, you don't need it. But in the end, who does it matter for? For those that actually care about ownership, physical ownership, and having to access the games when they want to play it without some other type of caveat stopping them, they may go for the PlayStation. For those that don't care because they live in a connected world, most of the stuff they do online is irrelevant to them. They embrace the internet and streaming and all that stuff. Then it doesn't really matter because you can still do it on PlayStation or you do it on Xbox. The requirement of internet is not a thing for you. And that's all it is. Don't catch it to the attack. Don't take this personal. It's just technological information. It's just technological facts. If anything, it's more about someone passing bad information. That is what people should be focusing on. Tom Warren likes to pass bad information. He should be held accountable for that. And what I mean by that is not, dox him or attack him. Just tell me, hey, Tom Warren, we don't trust you. You are not a reliable source of information. You have consistently spewed out bullshit over and over and over. And because you're not a reliable source of information, we're just not going to support your platform until you fix yourself and actually put in more honest work. That's really what should happen. That's really what should be the conversation. But that's not really going to happen. Because people love lies. People love BS information. Because it makes them feel good. That's the type of world we live in. People would like to feel good about this stuff. What we got going on here in the chat? David, do you think we will get a fantasy game from Naughty Dog this gen? I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't have the answer. I couldn't give you an opinion, but I'm going to tell you where my opinion stems from to answer that question. I'm going to say no. If I think there's a chance that Naughty Dog's next game is going to be a sci-fi fantasy, a sci-fi game, not a fantasy medieval game, but technically sci-fi fantasy is still fantasy, But if you're talking about medieval type games, like Elder Scrolls or like Elden Ring type thing, no. I think it's going to be sci-fi only because, man, a long time ago, around the PS3, around the launch of Uncharted 2 or 3, it was before The Last of Us, right? There was an article, an interview with Naughty Dog, and they talked about how things progress over the years on PlayStation, right? And during the PlayStation 1 era, they actually had multiple ideas for games, but they couldn't release it all or whatever, right? For example, they had ideas for platformers, which ultimately became Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter, but because of the hardware, Jak and Daxter came out on PlayStation 2, right? And Crash Bandicoot was a PS1. They also thought about an Indiana Jones type game. This was a thought during the PS1 era, which eventually became Uncharted. But as you can see, we didn't get that until PlayStation 3. They also talked about an article of creating like a zombie game, which ultimately we now know is The Last of Us. But again, we didn't get that to PlayStation 4. But in that same article, they mentioned a sci-fi shooter. So during this article, during the PS1 era, the studios were storyboarding multiple different type of games. 2 platformers, an Indiana Jones treasure hunting game, a zombie apocalypse type game, and a sci-fi game. So, going by that order, we got the platformers, which eventually became Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter type. We got the adventure treasure type game, Uncharted, and we got our zombie apocalypse type game, The Last of Us. So where's the sci-fi game they're talking about? So if they're going to still continue that trend, I think the next game is going to be a sci-fi game. But again, they could change their mind, because remember, this was our article back during the PS3 era, and the games they mentioned were just ideas and concepts during the PS1 era. So I'm just assuming it's going to be a sci-fi game if they're going by what that article is presented. John Baptiste, my man says, you can't even set up the Xbox if you don't have internet. Don Matrick tried to tell them, but they got mad. Well, they should have stayed on 360. They got the Xbox for you. My man Lionel B. My man out there had a whole space on why he don't like big chicks. Shout out to Lionel, bro. Shout out, man. He said, so you telling us they implemented that DRM that everyone killed them for last gen and Xbox dudes ain't got nothing to say. Do Xbox dudes ever have anything to say for Xbox? Like Microsoft, I got to give a shout out to Phil. He created, at least among his supporters, a critique-free environment where his own supporters won't critique Xbox in anything, in any level, in any way. It's everyone who's outside of Xbox that critique it, right? And I will say some are critiquing it because they would like to get back into Xbox, but it's just not worth it until they make certain moves, right? While those who are within, they barely say anything. So it's crazy. It's crazy how Phil's a mastermind. Like you can't be mad at Phil for what he did. You really can't. Like, can you honestly be mad that because listen, Phil works for Microsoft. He works, and his number one responsibility is for the shareholders. Let's not play these games. Phil, Jim Ryan, all these dudes. Sean Layden, they come out, gamers, we love gaming, but at the end of the day, they got to bring that dollar for the shareholders. That is their ultimate responsibility. And if they don't do that, they will get fired. They will not be with that company. It's all about the shareholders. And Phil found a way that no matter what, the Xbox community won't even dare go at Microsoft. There was one dude on Twitter, Junos, right? He's an Xbox dude through and through. And we always go battle it, but he's been respectful. He was never disrespectful. That's why I'm cool with him, right? We just shit talk back and forth on PlayStation, Xbox, right? But he's like in the fight, bro. He's like in the fight. He is an Xbox guy. Like he is in the fight. He will, right? He's in it. He's deep in it. Like, he's that dude. Good dude though. He will not go as far as disrespect people. So I give him props for that. He doesn't do that shit. He's not disrespectful. He doesn't try to dox you. Not racist. None of that shit, right? But he will go hard for Xbox at the gaming level. He will keep it gaming, right? But the conversation I had on Twitter ultimately led to, right? It was what was the conversation I was having? It was a conversation of, it was GT5, another example of PlayStation 5 outperforming GT5. I mean, another example of Grand Theft Auto 5 running better. Another example of a game better performing PS5. And he tried to deflect with Gran Turismo 7. There's issues with Gran Turismo 7. The servers were offline for a while. So he tried to deflect and come up with a whole new situation, right? Showing PlayStation gamers being really unhappy with Gran Turismo 7, which is legit. If you're playing Gran Turismo 7 and there's stuff that's pissing you off, you have the right to voice your concern. So he posts that. He's like, things ain't looking good for Sony, trying to deflect. So I flipped the script back on Junos. I'm like, you quick to show PlayStation gamers complain about PlayStation. That's actually a good thing. Because they're out here ready to, hold Sony accountable. I never see you do that. Show me a time where you went at Microsoft hardcore for some BS they did. He replies back, the whole price increase. The whole community went back and, complained about Microsoft's price increase and they didn't do it. And I said, no. I didn't say other people. I said you. I want to see what you did. Show me tweets of you going at Microsoft. You going out there putting in that work. Because you cannot tell me that you've been a fan of a brand and they never did anything to piss you off. Some of you seen me as some of the things that Sony done that pissed me off. And I ranted about it. It's impossible to not experience something that just pisses you off that they did. Impossible. So I said, I want to see you. Give me receipts of you on your account. You give me something that you did. And to this day, we have never heard from Junos again. Nothing. I think he replied by excuses. I did something. What? You want to see, a picture of my scars on my back or something? I'm like, no. I just want to see screenshots. The way you show screenshots of PlayStation gamers complaining about PlayStation, I want to see screenshots of you complaining about Xbox. There's got to be something that you hated that pissed you off and you out there went hard. He doesn't have it. I only hope that he can self-reflect and realize, Porak just challenged me to show something of me going hard on Xbox for stupid shit. And I honestly don't have anything. Because if he would have, and he didn't dare ask me that. Because he knows, because he follows my timeline, he's a good dude. He knows I have plenty of tweets of me going hard on Xbox. To the point where I had PlayStation fans thinking that, you're just trying to appease Xbox gamers. That's how hard I went at Sony. Good little tip. Just because you criticize the brand you love doesn't necessarily mean you're converting over. It's just it just, sometimes you have to give the brand a spanking. You have to be honest. You can't always let it just be easy on them all the time, because they're going to take advantage. If you let it do it all the time, then you're going to look like the Xbox fan base. Sometimes you got to look at the brand and be like, yo, what are you doing? This ain't work. And you got to do it. You got to give them a spanking. You got to roll the newspaper and boop, bop them on the head. Keep them in check. You see what I'm saying? Was I in the space? Bruh, I was, but I had to leave quick because I could not. Woo! Bruh. Lionel B, man. Yo, for real, Lionel B. I was like, yo. I had to dip out, you know what I'm saying? Can I be associated with the craziness? Yo, Lionel B, that space was crazy, man. Yo, but, oh well. Xbox podcast, it's going to be interesting this week. You know, I'm going to be honest, though. Let me ask you something. I want to ask you guys. I know the Xbox guys have a lot. But I watched more Xbox podcasts last gen during Xbox One than I am during this gen. I have very little interest. There's not that many Xbox podcasts that I listen to now. Not compared to last gen. I was listening to a lot more last gen. Now it's like, you know, I mean, can you really listen to a podcast that's trying to convince you 1 + 1 is 3? Can you really like sit there and just listen to this? And half the conversations now is acquisitions. Like, all right, I get it. But every goddamn week, we're going to talk about potential acquisitions? Like, god damn. And you know what's crazy? And maybe because I don't listen to as much, the conversation of Game Pass is always just the value of Game Pass. Like, I don't see a lot of conversations on the actual games and like, unless it's like a big popular game, right? That's that becomes the big deal, right? All right, I get that. But like, they talk about, man, this library of 400 games. I don't see conversations on what 400 games these guys are actually enjoying, and they talk about it and play it. Because every week they should be talking about crazy games, because they instantly got access to it. My man Donnell Brown, welcome to the family. New member. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Got the badge of honor by your side. And over time, if you stay as a membership, you probably could see it, you're going to get the cloud with me, you know, diesel me. You're going to get God status. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to improve. All right. Hey, so let me segue into this. So as far as my membership right now, is very lackluster. There's not a lot to it. But over time, I will just add to it. And it's not going to be tiered out. I'm not going to do, oh, here's a new tier for $10. I'm not doing that. The only reason why I even acted, I wasn't going to activate at all. As you know, I don't got a Patreon. I don't do any of that stuff, right? Because ultimately, I want all content to be available to everybody. The only reason I added it is because there was a lot of users. There was some users, right, that asked to get it added because many of them can't go on. You know, many of them miss the live streams or they can't make it to the live streams. And they would love to, you know, support with super chat and stuff like that. But it's just not really feasible for them. So they're like, hey, if you open membership, we could just do it. We'll support your channel. And it doesn't matter if we're there live or we're catching the video. We got you. Just help us out. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. I like did it. If you do whatever. It's not a requirement. You know what I'm saying? It's open for you guys. But since I have it, I will constantly add to that same membership. It's only going to be that one membership. That's it. I'm not going to have different things. And it's always going to be adding stuff, but not taking away from the overall community. It's Donnell Brown. He says, thank you for doing the stream, giving me something to listen to do while I am at work. I truly appreciate it, man. And I'm glad you're part of the family. So the whole thing with the membership is adding without taking away. Because I don't think that's adding. That's just shuffling stuff. So there won't be private videos for membership. There won't be a private membership chat or stream. Everybody will have access to everything all the time. I just have to find a way for those who are members how to give stuff for the membership, but without taking away. So the things for the general populace is always going to be the podcast. You're going to get access to all the videos. I did change one thing in the chat, if you notice, is subscribers. So right now the chat can only be done by subscribers, but it's only a 2-minute wait. So if you subscribe to the channel, 2 minutes later, you're going to have access to the chat. The reason I did that, I'm going to say it up front, is because I got friends in these YouTube streets, right? And they advised me to enable that feature to prevent, I guess, what's it called? Crashing? I forgot the term they used. But I guess they'll get a wave of people and they will bombard the chat with fake accounts, and they would just slaughter your chat. Like you would lose control of it. And they would just post nonsense, constantly post and it would just completely like bombard your chat. Anybody familiar with that? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Chat got quiet. I mean, it's trolls, but obviously it's the trolls, but it's a coordinated. I forgot the term, man. It's a coordinated attack, really, on your chat, where you have like 40, 50, 60 people. They spam, but it's something. It's called something. I forgot. It was a specific term, right? Kind of like DDoS in your chat, right? And they just completely and like the mods are just overwhelmed at all this stuff, right? So by enabling subscribing, just put 2 minutes, you can't get all these new people to just do it. Because they first have to subscribe, and then they have to wait 2 minutes, and then they send the chat. So by the time they go through all that, so it's more of a defensive measure. You know, if you want to chat, you subscribe, 2 minutes, unsubscribe because you don't like the channel, that's fine. But I'm just doing it to it's not raid, but we'll look it up. But, you know, maybe I think it was raid. But anyway, raiding the chat, was it? I think it was mentioned. But that's pretty much all that is, right? And I didn't set it to like a ridiculous number. It's 2 minutes. It's just enough to make it annoying for them, but not enough for you guys. You know, you subscribe, hit 2 minutes, and then boom, get into the conversation. So that's all that is. I didn't lock the chat to paid membership or nothing. So if you guys wondering why you can't chat, it's only because you're not subscribed. But you hit the subscribe button, wait 2 minutes, boom, you're in there. If you don't like the channel, down subscribe. You know, it's my job to keep you guys subscribed. That's how I see it. It's not on you. It's on me. It's on me to provide the content, to have the conversations, and to do the things that make you be like, yeah, you know what? I mess with you, Portrock. Yo, Portrock, I fucks with you. I fucks with you. That's really what I got to do. I fucks with you. I got to make you guys say, yo, P-Rock, I fucks with you. That's my job. I'm not one of those dudes that shame the community. You know, I got to convince you guys to be like, yo, I fucks with this dude. Yo, this Boricua right here, I got him. I got you. Keep doing what you're doing. And that's all it is, man. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So, Donnell, welcome to the family. Appreciate it. But you know what? It's almost 4 o'clock. When did I start this? I started this at almost 2. So, I've been here almost 2 hours. Bruh, it's time to game. You know, I got a date with Dayloy. You know what I'm saying? Alloy out here. We're going to do our thing. We're about to do our thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to game. Send me a friend request on PlayStation. It's Puerto77. You know what I'm saying? I will get to it. But I'm about to hang out with my girl, with my side piece. If my wife heard this shit, she'll mess me up. With my digital side piece. I'm going to hang out with my digital side piece right now. We're going to be chilling. Me and my digital side piece. You know what I'm saying? You know, Bayloy out here. We're going to be doing the Lord's work right now. You know? But anyway, I hope I made this an enjoyable time for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if there's any topics you guys want me to take, hit me up in the DMs on Twitter. You know you guys could do that, right? I ask you, because I know many of you have major topics that you want actual podcasters to talk about. Especially, you want some of us to actually put in the work and look into it. Like with China, I'm a look into that. Hit me up in the DM. Say, hey, Portrock, I'm concerned about this. Can you look into this? Give me your thoughts. All right? And I got you. And you ain't got to be a member. You ain't got to send me money. Just take the time. Send me the DM. Don't say her name. Just ooh, yo, that's ooh. I would be in trouble. And then me trying to explain, baby, she's a video game. She's gonna be like, a video game? You weirdo! Why are you dreaming about a video game? You weirdo! Yo, Leech, I don't even know why you said that. Now you got me all nervous. Marco, part of the family. Thank you so much. Shouting out. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna grow this stuff, you know? I'm gonna make it better. I box with you. That's my job, you know? But we gotta get to Baylor, you know what I'm saying? But I hope you enjoyed this impromptu live stream on a Saturday. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend with your friends, with family, with your preferred gaming platform. Do it. Take care of yourself. Wish you all the best of luck. This is your only friend in these YouTube streets, out here doing the Lord's work to get you people to be like, yo, Porter Rock, I fucks with you. I fucks with you, man. I love you guys. Thank you so much. To the new members of the family, to the new members of the channel. We down, we family, we're in here, we're doing it. And I'm out. You know, my side piece is waiting for me. She out here. Baylor out here stressing. You know what I'm saying? She needs me to play with her a little bit. And I'm out of here. I missed it. Catch you up on your next. All right, you guys take care. All right, I'm out of here. You guys take care. Peace.